Hello, everybody. I'm back again. Hope everybody's had a wonderful day. Well, the USDA has closed the border again. They opened it back up July the 5th on lobbying from the big four packers. Uh, Now they've closed it again to the New World screwworm, which is within 700 miles of our border, and they're trying to fly all those sterile flies in and release them. You know, we eradicated that in, I think, 1966 here in America. But that goes to show you, with everything going on, there's a lot of diseases coming in this country that's been eradicated too, with uh, China Joe Biden's open border policy. Our food supply is under attack. You've got the Chinese already. Two spies have come in, been caught with pathogens. Uh, One on the plant base and one on the animal side to destroy our food supply. And who knows what they're going on? In the Biden administration in California, they found a warehouse that the Chinese had all kinds of stuff, bubonic plague and all kinds of stuff. And it's not talked about on the mainstream media. We got the lowest cattle herd in the United States since the 1950s. And, and that's why the Packers lobbied to get the Mexican border opened back up. And they didn't want to pay the high prices that farmers are getting out of their beef. They want to knock us back down. And then you had Jeff Bezos, more or less bought off the Black Ag Association for on the prelude to studying cow farts, which is the biggest joke it ever was. So the Black Ag Association sold out for money. And people, we have got to protect our small family farms and ranches from these globalists, from these corporatists who they believe that corporate farming is the answer. There's something to be said about home raised stuff, home raised gardens, home raised beef, home raised hogs, home raised chickens. And they're trying to destroy that in this country. One thing the globalist wants to do away with it all, and you eat bugs, that's one thing. And it's all about power and money, control. Um, they're trying to turn us into some kind of communist country. There's a war on religion. It's okay to wear a towel around your head and your face and chase a Jew down the hallways of these colleges into a room. Or if you believe in Jesus Christ, you're mocked, ridiculed. There's a war of good and evil going on in this world, really, and in this country that you never would have thought would happen. It's happening. We elected President Trump to get back on the right path. We give him the Congress and Senate, and they're not really doing nothing. This Jeff Epstein stuff. I'd like to know the answers too, but these rich and powerful people will never be. That list will never be known to the public. It's all about power and control, and they're using it to throw a shadow on what's going on. To look at this hand while this hand doing something else. You've got the people in North Carolina and now Texas and New Mexico with all what's happening, Helene and the flooding here lately. Uh, they're using Epstein and all this other junk, and you don't hear nothing about what's going on with people. People in North Carolina still suffering, Northeast Tennessee still suffering, and now you got people in Texas, New Mexico been flooded out, and not to mention West Virginia about a month ago, the whole town washed off. The news media just mentioned it, and you forgot about the people is forgot about. And and it's easy to get distracted, but our food supply, you know, is really important to this country. You know, you don't know what if they're going to try to do something to our water supply. Back in the Biden administration, you had these food processing centers catch fire and burnt mysteriously to the ground. Refineries attack on their grid, and tourists coming across the border free will. Now you've got these activists ambushing federal agents, and they're shooting at them. These activists are protesting, and I mean, it's just unreal. We are under attack on all sides, spiritually, uh, physically, and our country and our way of life is under attack. I believe what Jesus said. My favorite one: if you've got faith as small as a mustard seed, you can move a mountain. And I believe that wholeheartedly. But God gave us free will, and that means we have to act on it. That means that we have to be vigilant, and we have to keep our Congress and senators on their toes. A lot of them are bought off by these big corporations, and especially on the farmer side, these big ag corporations, they want rid of the small farmer and rancher. They see us as a nuisance, where they can have complete control. And we have to fight back. In the last 2 weeks, I've been contacted by 3 people that the people that they was buying their beef off of, or they was buying whole or halves or quarters, had quit selling to the private individual because they can make more money selling their cattle on the market, and which makes sense. I mean, to sell a beef, you've got 18 to 24 months. Is how long it takes to raise one, and you've got a lot of money in that with high inputs and the way things are. To get that animal up there, and I could see that you can make more money that way, but with the market the way it is, I'm afraid people are going to lose that side. But if I live within the next 18, 24 months, we're going to have some beef ready to sell. The good Lord's willing, and hopefully, we're going to be selling. It'll be I ain't gonna. Let's 2 people go in together and buy hives. The way I'll do it, but I can't do quarters and hives. It'll be the whole thing, the whole hog. I mean, it'll just be the whole cow or the whole steer. But we're gonna price them reasonable. It ain't gonna break a family to buy beef and have sustain your family for a year. But anyway, I'll make a video on it another day. I just want to make everybody aware of what's going on in this country. That I see that our way of life is under attack, and we need to band together and protect our family farms and ranches. Because people, we've always been the backbone of this country. We can't let these corporate globalists win. We have to take a stand and fight. Just like we fought to get President Trump elected, we're still in that fight to save this country. And I'll tell you one thing: never be ashamed that you believe that Jesus Christ died for your sins. But that's about all I've got to say. I know it wasn't too good a video, rambled quite a bit. I had a lot of thoughts in my head today. Good Lord willing, I'll make another in a day or two. But God bless each and every one of you, and I mean that from the bottom of my heart. God bless. See you next time.